When I grow up, I do not want to be like Bailey and Curly. No way. I have higher standards than that.
They make me laugh. At the same time, scare the shit out of me. What will they say next?
Welcome to the roller coaster world of Bailey and Curly. Unfiltered. While this voice may be artificial, the unfiltered musings from our hosts certainly are not. Make yourself comfortable, grab a drink, and let's get unfiltered. Here's your hosts, Bailey and Curly.
Hey, Bailey, how are you? It's episode 7 of Bailey and Bailey and Curly Unfiltered. My God, who would have thought that we would still be doing this, my friend? Who would have thought you'd still be in lockdown? Who would have thought getting a haircut in Victoria would be a day of celebrations? Mate, congratulations. I can see you've had a haircut.
Yeah, it was, in all my 30 years on this planet, I've never stressed about getting a haircut until yesterday. Like, it was just, it's sort of funny. Like, to be honest, you know, social distancing can, whatever. It's just funny that, okay, there's social distancing in place. I don't bite for a minute, but and then everyone's rushing to get a haircut. You're putting everyone in, like, you know, because I had work yesterday, so I was up, got at 5:30, and then started at 7:30 and finished around 3, and it was just the most, like, it came to a good experience. But I thought I'd go where I normally went while I was over at the airport, support him. Man, I had to sit outside. There was like like 6 people, 7 people inside the store waiting. Me, and then 2 other people on a chair outside. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm like, nah, be patient, Matthew. You've waited months for this. You can wait an hour for a haircut. But this guy got off a chair inside, so I went to go in to sit inside to wait. And this little fucking kid fucking sits there. I was like, you kidding me? So this kid just walked out from nowhere, not lining up, sitting down. I'm very, very tired at this point. Probably got 4 hours sleep, and then went to work, and then dealing with everyone rushing around like it's Christmas time at Myers. Sat back for about 5 minutes. So I was probably there for about 20 minutes. Got up, left. I'm like, nah, fuck this. Went to another hairdresser. I was super confused if it was a barber or a hairdresser because there was sort of 2 separate bits. I'm like, am I sitting down for the hairdresser bit? And then I heard someone come in and ask how long, and they said an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I'm like half an hour from home. I'm like, you know what? I just want to go home. If I have to wait an hour at home, it doesn't bother me because I'm 5 minutes from home. Not half an hour. So I went to a hairdresser in my shopping centre. This is about 4:20. He said, come back at 5. I was like, perfect. Came home, got changed from work, chilled for a bit, went back over, got a haircut from a pretty girl who smelled nice. So I was happy. In the end, but what an experience.
Who would have thought that it comes to this, you know, having a good day because we managed to get a haircut. So
well, it's those things that keep us happy. And when we don't have that, feel like shit. And
you know, I'm one of those people who probably don't get anywhere near enough haircuts as what I should. I let my hair grow and then I'll get it chopped back and people say, oh, it looks really good now. And then, you know, a month or 2 will go past and it'll be all wild and woolly. But the reality is that I can go get a haircut. It's when suddenly they take it all away. But I don't sort of understand the logic there, you know. Why are hairdressers allowed to open, but stores aren't? I don't get that.
Grand final coming up.
Yeah. So is there a legitimate concern there in Victoria that all of a sudden grand final crowds are going to cause a super spread of COVID? Is that the fear?
I reckon that's his fear. I reckon there'll be something. Even though it's meant to be good news Sunday,
Yeah, Sunday, the day after.
the day after coincidence, and it's always on a Sunday. Don't worry, he'll have his North Face jacket on.
Yeah.
Tell us how proud of Victorians he is.
Yeah. And the ridiculous thing is when you think about Victoria and you think about what's been going on, you've got a team in the NRL Grand Final, the Melbourne Storm. You've got Richmond and Geelong in the AFL Grand Final for the first time being held outside of Melbourne. You had the Melbourne Vixens win the Super Netball up here on the Sunshine Coast. So Victoria seems to be doing so well outside of Victoria, yet everyone inside of Victoria won't be able to watch the grand final at the pub, won't be able to have the grand final barbecue or parties from how many people are you allowed at your home?
Fuck no. I don't know enough people to have it around in my home.
Oh, absolutely. So it's ridiculous. So really, people need to remember this, and it's no longer about safety. It's about, control. It's about trying to keep everything suppressed so that, it's just so sad. It really is. But I see on your social media you've been having a bit of a crack around the place. I saw you out there skateboarding and was it sculling on a bottle of wine? Was that you? That's you? Yeah. That wasn't social media. You sent that to me when I was at the Gabba on Saturday night.
I sent that to you. Let's talk about Dogface 2A8. Have you seen the original video?
No. Tell me about Dogface.
Dogface. So it went viral, like TikTok went viral. It just went viral. And usually, when things go viral, it's like it never lasts, or it's something shit, like a fucking like a plank or a fucking ice bucket challenge or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But all this was, I think a guy was on the way to work and his truck broke down, so he skated to work, drinking a cranberry juice, listening to the song "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac. And it's literally just him on a skateboard drinking. And when I first saw it, like, I've got goosebumps telling this, because in the shit world we're going through at the moment, seeing that, I just thought, what a fucking vibe. And me skateboarding, I can relate.
Yeah, like, the difference was you had a bottle of $3 Plonk and he had his cranberry juice.
Here it is here.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could have been vodka in that cranberry juice, but it started like everyone doing it, like seeing Tony Hawk, and it was such a nice thing, to see, and it was such a happy vibe. And like I said, being a skateboarder, I relate, because when you're out on that board, it's just, you just feel free.
Absolutely,
and that's what it was. It was this carefree attitude about, especially what's going on in the world at the moment. Just to see that, I'm like, this dude's fucking happy. And he lives in a trailer park, and now he's fucking on TMZ, and everyone's like, it's so much positivity, which is what we fucking need right now.
Absolutely. I noticed during the week also there's a little bit of defiance happening down there. A couple of shops opened.
Fuck yeah.
And didn't, of course they're going to get fined for it or whatever, but there's some interesting stats coming out now about the fines that, it's like 90-something% of them just aren't getting paid.
Apparently, and that's what I keep hearing, that apparently you won't have to pay them because it's not the actual law you're breaking, it's a rule. It's not like you're speeding or assaulting someone. It's just the rule, and the rules change every fucking week. We can't keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. So it just seems like we're just caught up in this perpetual cycle, especially in Victoria. I get frustrated here in Queensland, because as you know, I was at the AFL at the Gabba there on Saturday night watching the Lions get absolutely bullied by Geelong. So just the difference in body size was just very interesting to see. But where we were, it was just packed. It was just packed. There was no spare seats. There was nothing. There was, the Gabba, I think, can get close to 40,000, and they said it was a crowd of 29,000. But, so what's that? That's about 70% roughly, I'd imagine, just off the top of my head. I think they're allowed 75%. But then you can't have 30 people at home. So you can sit in a crowd of strangers, shoulder to shoulder. It's just the hypocrisy and the double standards, the inconsistencies and the contradictions that are just pissing people off.
And that's like in Victoria now, I think today's case is 1, which when you look at it from the outside, we're in a quote unquote better situation than New South Wales.
Yeah.
Yet when the politicians and that get questioned about it, oh no, it's because this case was from here and this case is from here and this person lied about this case and it's a cluster in here and that's why, 13 cases in New South Wales is okay, but 1 case in Victoria is not, and that's why we can't open. It's like, and everyone's seeing it. Everyone knows that we've got nothing now, and everything has to line up. Like, I heard today that New South Wales are looking to open the borders to Victoria within a month.
Wow.
Which means
Queensland will still be sitting here without the borders open, mate.
And which means we would have to. And then I see another statement today from old mate that Melbourne will open up to regional Victoria next month. I'm like, well, hello, you need to drive through regional Victoria to drive to New South Wales. Like, you can't open the borders and say, oh, the only way you're allowed here is fly. Nah, let people drive from Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen also some interesting conversations in relation to, the comparison with the United Kingdom, for example. So
I really feel for them at the moment.
Oh, and I do, you go back, and I'm not quite sure of the timeline, but there was a stage there where I think Victoria had 700 cases a day and United Kingdom had 600 cases or something. And now it's like United Kingdom are getting 16,000 cases a day. And, of course, Victoria is now down to 1. So everyone's pointing this out as what a great job Dan's done. But when you look at it, right, Victoria's got a population of, 3 million? 3 to 5, maybe.
3 to 5 million,
Yeah, 6 million maybe.
Probably 2 million now because everyone's moved out. But.
Well, mate, I was talking to a mate in real estate. He said you can't buy a property in Noosa at the moment because they're all being snapped up before they go on market by Victorians. So
yeah, I've had a lot of people on the plane leaving Vic, and they have to go through Canberra to get to Queensland or Adelaide. Yeah, it's just sort of giving them the push they need.
Yeah, but there's 68 million people in the UK. So do you think that that's an incredibly accurate comparison to be comparing Victoria to the United Kingdom? But
it's like comparing Port Adelaide to Adelaide. This year's season, Adelaide finished with the winners.
But then, hi Karen. I noticed that now today on social media, and I call it like a babbling brook. You're out there and you were near a creek where some water. You look like you're out and about. Tell me, was that within 25K?
Well, see, here's the thing. They announced the 25K, so I was like, awesome, I'm going to go to my favourite hiking lake. I never took hiking for granted. Is that a South Australia, the way I said it? Granted?
Yeah.
Granted.
Yeah. Girl, pool.
I just didn't do it as much down here. So, as soon as I announced 25K, I'm like, cool, my favourite place is 25K away hiking. Driving along the highway, I see all these signs about police checkpoints. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's going to be the old ring of steel, as old Andrews calls it.
Yeah.
And then it was the old ring of steel. Where are you going? Or show us your ID or where you're from. I said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And like, nah, you can't go there.
Yeah.
He said it's in regional Victoria. I was like, you fucking kidding? Like, we can't keep up. So I just went to. Honestly, I don't care if I was in regional metro. The fact that Victoria has now been divided is just a fucking joke.
It is. It is.
You know, like, especially when you've got Mildura, which is like 6 hours away, who I don't think ever had a case. The same rules as Geelong down here, which is, an hour from Melbourne. But yeah, getting into the hiking today, it's, haircut and hiking. I finally felt.
What a day.
What a week, yeah.
What a day.
I finally felt some freedom. It's just, I think we're at a point where we won't go back. We can't go backwards. Like, they're not going to close there. Anyway, yeah, the hike was beautiful. I started hiking early 2016 after our mutual friend Jeff Jowett, his fiance at the time, posted a photo of him on a boat in Fiji, and the caption was something about, what do you give an ADHD, like an adult ADHD, for medication? You take him outdoors, and that's when I just started hiking and just bushwalking, and so for me to go out today, it was just it was really good.
Excellent.
It was beautiful.
As I said, Victoria is happening all around the world at the moment, except in Victoria. So it'll be interesting this week. Geelong and Richmond. 20,000 general public tickets were put on sale. First time ever general public tickets have been available for an AFL Grand Final.
Well, there's no members up there. But go the Cats.
I think Tigers have got a membership base up here. I was reading somewhere, maybe 10,000. I'm not sure. Geelong only had very small pockets there on Saturday night. So I would say if there was 1,000 in that crowd that were Geelong supporters on Saturday night, I reckon I'd be overestimating. So mate, how disappointing. St Kilda's gone, the Lions gone, and now it's just, I'll watch the grand final from the back deck. I'll have a couple of beers, and I really just hope, I think Richmond will beat Geelong. So
I hope not. but I think you're right. Yeah. They just play so dirty. Like, watching them beat the Saints, I was like, you guys are disgust. Like,
it's the way they play the game, isn't it? It's tight, it's contact, it's muscled up.
Yeah, so I'll be going for the old Cats.
So you've been doing a little bit on the music this week?
Yes, still chipping away. Like, it's no secret I'm recording an EP. We started that August last year. And, we're in pre-production. And, like, I've never done all this stuff before, which is really good. It's about, finishing off the lyrics and the structure of the song. And just getting as much down as you can before actually going to the recording process to save a lot of time. And
you've got the ability to do that nowadays with technology. I mean, you can create good quality recordings of stuff without having to go into a studio.
Yeah. So Mark, he's just got a little studio set up in his house in Canberra. So nothing will get recorded until I'm up there. But we've officially written all 5 songs.
Oh, whooshka.
And one of them, the last one, which is crazy. Like, we started it like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We ended up scrapping the whole song completely and writing a whole new one.
Yeah.
Which is sort of scary, but I'm glad I've done it because, a lot of musicians come into writing an EP or an album with no songs, and they do it all from day one in the studio and all the way through. So, I've written songs over the years, so I knew which ones I wanted. So,
excellent. I've done some writing this week too, mate.
Have you?
It's been funny. I've been a little bit out of sorts, just over the last week or so, and I think, I've allowed myself to be influenced by the inconsistencies and the frustrations that I feel with, we can call them Dan fans or Anastasia fans, people saying thank you for keeping us safe. I really got frustrated a couple of weeks ago when a mate I used to know in Bunnings posted a photo of him on the first Friday you could stand up and have a beer. And he said, "Thanks, Anastasia." And I just thought, fuck off. That we should not be thanking people that we can go stand up and have a beer. So yeah, I've been a bit out of sorts. So, I used to have this, I don't know if you ever met, I used to have an alter ego that, called Snowy Bloody Fraser. And he was a bit of a legend, but he would write poetry, and I'd do it for mates' birthdays. But the only way that I would ever, present the poem would be as Snowy.
Oh.
So because, who wants to listen to Curly fucking do poetry,
Yeah.
But
Curly, can you step out and let Snowy in for a second?
No. Snowy's, he got killed in a Cessna. He used to fly up from Nambucca Heads in his Cessna, and there was an awful, terrible accident around Mount Warning one year. So Snowy's never to be seen again. But it was really interesting because, once the creative juices started to flow again, all of a sudden you're back in the flow. And I'll test little snippets on you tonight. So
let's do it.
I had to laugh. I shared some of it with Sharon, and she just looked at me and said, "Do you feel better now?"
Shout out to Sharon and Karen.
So, "Do you feel better now?" she says, and I said, "Well, actually, I do." She said, "Well, now what are you going to do with it?" And I said, "Well, I'm probably going to put it on a video and see what happens." And she said, "Yeah, you just do that." So anyway, I'll share. I won't do the whole thing because it's 2 pages, but and I won't do it in my normal style of doing my own poetry. I won't do it Snowy style. I'll just be a bit underwhelming tonight. So, but yeah. So it starts off with the year we learned to stand on a dot, right? So that's the title of the poem. The year we learned to stand on a dot. So it's impossible to say that 2020's been our friend. Most of us are wishing that it will soon come to an end. We've seen hysteria, fear, and we've seen lots of rot. And one thing that we've all learnt is to stand on a dot. The control of the populations, the washing of our brains, the anxiety of the many that's keeping us in chains. And we bow and we thank our captives and cheer for the simple opportunity to stand and have a beer. The lines outside shops, if they are allowed to open, but many have closed, there's not much to put their hope in. But bars and clubs have copped it far worse, the compliance and safe plans, the new universe. The dots and the crosses for where we all must stand. And don't even think of shaking my hand. We now interact at a distance and we keep our 1.5. The fear that if we don't, we just won't be alive. The virus is real and it's hanging around. A vaccine is thought unlikely to be found. For many, it's a dream that we'll get back our routine. Until then, we remain slaves to the COVID-safe regime. What we believe... I'm almost halfway through now. So what we believe is it came from Wuhan, from animal perhaps, or maybe by man. But others, they tell us it comes from 5G. Bill Gates is behind it. Just you wait and see. But conspiracies aside, the stats, they do not lie. And deaths per million you cannot deny is the reason most countries have all shat their pants. So we've kept our distance and we're forbidden to dance. So anyway, that's halfway through, mate. So that's all I'll share.
I really liked it. And I've got to agree with you with the whole what your mate posted, thanking Anastasia for the beer, because I not once am I happy about I'm able to get a haircut now. I'm not happy that I can go for a hike now. It makes me happy, but the fact that we're in that position to begin with was a fucking joke.
Well, they've got this thing called Stockholm Syndrome, and it's when people get kidnapped and all of a sudden they form an attachment to their captive. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And we see that. We're seeing that now with, the chief medical officers who you've got Sutton, we've got Young in our state. And it really is just, people thanking them for keeping us safe. No, fuck off. I can keep myself safe. I'll
Yeah.
wash my hands. I'm not going to, if someone's sneezing, I won't be around them. I'll have sanitizer
sorry,
with me.
but a year ago, this should have been the fucking case anyway. I don't know what
Yeah.
those dirty fuckers were doing, not washing your fucking hands. But,
Yeah.
like, I get you. You get nothing to thank them for.
Yeah.
And,
it's
even
crazy.
yesterday, like, this is like, I thank you for your support, Tony, because you've been great, even off this podcast, like, feeling for me and the Victorians and checking in on me because...
Yeah.
And a lot of people have checked in on me, and I'm fucking grateful for it. Because like yesterday, I finished work, I posted a photo, like a selfie on my story. I don't know if you've seen it, but I said, never been excited to get a haircut. It's been 4 months. Hashtag sack Dan.
Yeah.
But someone unfollowed me because of that. And I know this person follows Dan and fucking likes him.
Yeah.
The thing is, what pisses me off, and she's not the only one that's done it, is these people don't even fucking live in Victoria. Like, you've got a right to fucking, think you know how we feel or get upset because I'm speaking up about how I feel.
100 days. What is it? 100 days in lockdown.
Yeah. And like I said, like, I've seen a cop today after work. I said, dude, how is your industry doing? He's like, first thing he said was mental health is out the window.
Yeah.
Guys are coming to work fucking depressed, and you don't want police in that state of mind. We all are human, and we all go through shit. But when it's shit like this, it's just, and then I seen a guy on a walk today, and first thing he mentioned was like the suicides of, was it him or someone told me that the suicide rates we've hit last year's figures already.
Wow.
So what we hit for all of last year,
So we've still got 2 months to go. That's incredible. But the absolutely, and I'm trying to get this back with some stats and trying to really work this out. But people are actually saying, from what I can gather or reading, is that the amount of deaths in the world in 2019 is still on a par with the amount of deaths we've had in the world in 2020.
Yeah.
So we've had this global pandemic which has killed shitloads of people. But then the amount of deaths is still the same. The amount of deaths is still the same. So that just doesn't add up. It just...
Imagine believing there's an actual pandemic.
Yeah. Well, it's like, the funny thing is I've sort of picked up a little bit of a sore throat today. So, the first thing that goes through my mind is I was at the footy with 30,000 bloody people there on Saturday night. Who knows? Now, normally I'd say I've got a bit of a sore throat. Who cares?
Yeah.
And predominantly that's the majority of my thinking anyway. But you still have this little bit of a, well, maybe I'm not going to go to a doctor and say I've got a sore throat. He's going to stick something up my nose and have a
Good on you.
bit of a test around. I'll just, do what I've got to do. I'll just do what I'd normally do. Drink plenty of water and take some Sudafed.
Exactly. If you get the flu, you do what you do. You don't stay home until you've done it.
Yeah.
Like until it's over.
Yeah. It's just,
and like I said to you on our latest podcast, I think, or the one before, I said it's gonna take this one person to stand up and go, fuck this. And that happened in Victoria last week with the guy with the menswear shop. He opened, he copped the fine, whether he has to pay it, like,
he'll never pay it. He'll never pay it.
He said he'd go to jail for it, and not pay the fine because. And then he had to close on one of the days because he had that many orders. He had to close to get all the orders out.
He had to reorder. Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, I agree. I think, because one of the... I'll just read the next paragraph on the poem because this is where I get probably my greatest frustration. We've been locked down and lied to and kept under control, and we meekly complied and dug deeper the hole. The economy went crash, small business went bust, and governments were saying, in us, you must trust. So, how Australians have just meekly said yes. I'll stay in my house. You know, if you had 3 million Melbourne people say, no, do you think the police force could, and I'm not inciting anything here, but do you think anyone could stop that? Seriously. If you had every single shop in a main street say, we're going to open every single day, you know, but we've just meekly said, okay, we'll do that. So that's the thing that just, you know, I mentioned when we were in Japan, when Sharon and I were in Japan, and, you know, they were talking about lockdowns and, you know, that they'd already got rid of mass gatherings, but, you know, they're catching a train in Japan. It's a mass gathering anyway, so the trains are still running. But they were talking as we were leaving about all these additional restrictions that were going to come in. I said to Sharon, can you imagine that happening in Australia? We just say, oh, fuck off, you know?
Well, that's what you think. Like, we're stubborn here. No, I'm not fucking wearing a mask. Like, you know, and then
all of a sudden we just said, oh, my God, we got to wear a mask. I might die. That COVID might come around the corner and get me. So, you know, and once again, I'm not saying the virus is real. Obviously, the virus is real.
It's a virus.
But whether it's something that we should all be sitting in a corner in fear of. You know, interestingly, I had dinner with a mate there over the weekend too, and he works in PNG, and he hadn't been home for 5 months because of lockdowns and whatnot. So he was here for a month, and then he was going back, and he's not expecting to be back in Australia till probably March next year. But his wife was incredibly anxious, and it was probably the most anxious I've ever seen her. And I never imagined her. I've never seen her as an anxious person, but she hadn't been out of the house. Even sitting there at dinner at Chermside Shopping Centre, you could see that initially she was just like all tight. Because, you know, when you listen to it day in, day out, the daily updates, the stress, the pressure, don't let it catch you. You know, we've had chief medical officers saying, if you've got a sore throat, it's likely you've got COVID. You know, all of this, if you just listen to that all day, every day, of course you are going to create this thing that just, it's like
old mate, get on the beers. He's like, don't wait to get tested. If you've got a sore throat on Friday, don't wait till Monday to get it tested. Get tested now, because it's those first few days is when you'll, you know, transmit it to everyone.
Yeah.
Believes his own lies.
Yeah. So the days that you don't actually know you've got it are apparently the days that you're most contagious. And then everyone jumps up and down and says, you shouldn't have been going out. But hang on, I didn't know I had it.
And then they're like, oh, there's no symptoms. And one case yesterday actually came back. It was a false negative or false positive or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now there's this new technology, 15 minutes you can know if you've got it or not. That's what it'll be. These new know if you got it or not. They're probably fake. And then, the virus is just all of a sudden gone.
Yeah. Do you know what I sort of have this funny feeling and that one day someone's going to say, you know, all those tests we've been doing, they've actually been faulty. Or there's going to be something that comes out that just says
there's something else behind it. There is.
Yeah, we've stuffed this up or something, you know. But yeah, it's just you know, I just love the fact we can get a chance to have a bit of a chat. I'm in Queensland, you're in Victoria. We both have some frustrations with what's happening in and around the world. So
I've shook so many hands lately too, which is great. And people have not hesitated. I had a guy put his hand out to me today first. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, it's just that stigma that worry, you can't shake hands. You've got a fist bump because the virus is that clever that it only goes in your palm.
Yeah.
Not on the outside of your hand. Like if you go to a pub, you can, you know, you can't go to the bar and get a drink, but you can get up and go to the toilet.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Hey, did I tell you I'm going to Adelaide? I'm going to Adelaide. You did mention,
but there was a bit of anxiety around whether you can make plans or not.
Well, we booked the tickets now, so we're on a plane, so I've got no idea. But, you know, I think borders are open between South Oz and Queensland, so it shouldn't be too much drama. But yeah, November 21, I'm doing a workshop down there with a company called Ruby Red Star. We're doing the Rediscovering New workshop. So
Awesome,
if there's any Adelaide people that still love Matt, even though he moved to Victoria, come down and see me, November 21. And, of course, November 20 is my birthday, so there'll be a couple of little drinks to be had over the weekend in Adelaide. Going to Adelaide Hills, I think, on the Sunday, visit some wineries with some friends that we've got down there. And, yeah, looking forward to that. It'll be good to be able to travel. So hopefully you'll be able to get to regional Victoria by then. So and I'm not saying that to gloat.
No, I actually went down there the other day anyway.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, there's some tapping on the line. Hold on.
I think there is. I just over it, man. Like the fear's out of everyone now.
Yeah.
No one cares. I'm seeing less and less people wear masks on a walk and hikes, and it's
once again, can I say, everyone was told to wear a mask to the football, to and from, especially from. And I reckon out of the 30,000 people at the Gabba, if there was 500 people wearing masks, I reckon that'd be a good guess. No one wears them. No one wears them. It's
coming
an
into
encouragement.
Coming into summer, man, like even now, like wearing it at work all day is fucking annoying and itchy. And
yeah.
I'll wear it out in the cabin and then I'll sit down and have a drink. So
what sort of conversations do you have on planes with people at the moment? Is there, because the airlines seem to be copping real flack around, 2-minute noodles being served up in business class and
lucky them. It's sort of a sad time because it hit me the other day that like usually like I'm so used to talking to passengers.
Yeah.
Usually wear their first flight on an international holiday because they're coming from Tassie or a regional town.
Yeah.
So they're telling me about their holiday. If it's America,
they're all excited.
Yeah, all excited. I'll share my America holidays with them and what I love about it, and then then you get them coming back or whatever, and but now the only reason to travel is medical. So you don't sort of want to ask people why they're traveling.
Yeah.
So had this lovely couple on board the other day that, she was dealing with some pretty heavy shit. And, I sat down and we spoke and it was good. And, told them about crew life. They jumped on and made some comments on there, which is really good. And, And
did you share some feedback that you got on crew?
That was that. That was them. Yeah. Very, very nice couple.
Yeah.
I sat down and we sort of, talked about everything, and he was stoked that I play guitar because it was something that he always wanted to get into that never did. He's probably got one like you sitting behind there, but never got into it. Yeah,
but I won't pull it out this week, mate. So, I think it's at exactly where I left it after our last podcast episode. So yeah. It's that discipline, mate. It's that discipline to learn something new and to actually put yourself through the pain of learning. So
speaking of new,
because you were gonna talk about a girl.
A girl.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah. All right. Look out. Bailey's going savage. No, not savage. It's just a lesson learned for anyone out there.
Yeah.
Just because you have feelings for someone doesn't mean it has to go further. Because you can have feelings for someone and they could be completely wrong for you.
Yeah.
So sort of dodge a bullet. Like I sort of had developed feelings for this girl. I don't know when. But it was just killing me not telling her. And I never once wanted to be with her. Because of who she was. There was so many things about her that I just fucking couldn't stand. I knew it wouldn't work. So not once I wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And I told her, I think it was like the day after our podcast. I think I told her and I said, look, hey, I don't want anything more. I said, I just want to know just want you to know that I've got or had feelings for you. She was such a fucking bitch. Like she was so stuck up. It took everything. It took everything in me not to reply. And she's like, "Hey, yeah, I sort of knew you had feelings. That's why I backed off." She's like, "You're a bit full on." Anyone out there, if anyone says you're too full on, they're not for you. Be yourself. If you're too full on for someone, you're going to be just right for someone else. And she ends the message with, "I'm not available." I'm like, I didn't say I wanted to be with you. Like, I was just letting you know because I had to get it.
So where does that go? Like that's just like the full stop.
Yeah.
In any like anything, you know.
Yeah.
That's just. And by the way, here's another dagger in your heart. And
pretty much.
See you later.
Because we caught up. Throw myself under the bus here. We caught up. We caught up end of last year.
The lines are tapping again.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
Easy,
we caught up end of last year, and when I knew she was sort of backing off, I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, is everything okay?"
Yeah.
She's like, I've said this so many times to my friends. She's like, "Yeah, I'm just talking to close friends and family." Fuck off.
Can you just?
Oh no, you're frozen. You're back. You're back. What did you say?
Just do that again. That I'm just talking to close friends and family.
I'm just talking to close friends and family, she said. I was like, all right, fucking kidding me? But then what pissed me off, the next day she messaged me.
Yeah, so you must be close friend or family.
What the fuck am I? And like she was very like I spoke to my friends about it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is she just being flirty or what? Like, she would send me, like, I don't know if you're aware how Snapchat works, but you can send.
No, I'm a dinosaur and I'm not on Snapchat. Yeah.
We can send them. You can when you take a photo, you can choose who you want to send it to.
Yeah.
A lot of people will take a photo of whatever they're doing and send it to like a group of people. So when I received this Snapchat, I knew it wasn't for me. But she sent me a Snapchat. This is just someone who's not a close friend or family, sitting on the toilet with her pants down.
As you do.
As you do. And like, I know everyone probably got that. And when I say everyone, she would have had to select me. But like, if she didn't want me seeing that, don't send me a photo with your pants.
Can I just explore the mindset of, like, not once, like, I won't even answer my phone if I'm in the toilet, right? So not once have I ever thought about, geez, I might just do a photo of me here and send it out, you know?
Yeah.
What's that mindset? What's that about?
No idea.
Oh, my God.
And
so how did you respond to that, close friend or family?
I don't think I replied. I've learned to bite my tongue. I just, like when she said I'm not available, I was like, I actually told my friend, I actually sent a message to my friend, my reply to her. I said, look, I need to get this off my chest. I said, this is what I would have said to her, but I'm not saying it to her. I'm saying it to my friend to get it off my chest. But what was funny, when we caught up last year, we had a bit of a moment, and we spoke about half an hour ago about me being in pre-production. So, you know, I was still tweaking a little bit of like the songs and adding some lyrics, changing some lyrics. And there was a lyric that was in reference to her when we caught up, and she was very interested in it. I put it up on my story. She was like, "What's this?" Excuse me. And yeah, we got talking, and she was very interested about this lyric. I didn't end up using it. Like, the song wasn't about her, but the context of what happened with me and her, it sort of fitted into the song. Yeah. So I tried to work it in there. In the end, I didn't even use it. So yeah, just because you've got feelings for someone doesn't mean you have to be with them.
Matt wrote a song about me. You could just see
Well,
the mind starting to tick.
Yeah. That's why she was like, I think while she was, she was messaging me about it.
Maybe she thought you're a country and western artist or something. They write about unfulfilled love and trucks and dogs, and
I'll have to write a song called "Just Close Friends and Family."
Well,
shots fired.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, funnily enough, I was looking at my Facebook today for whatever reason. I might seem to be on Facebook a lot, but I'm actually not. So, but today I thought, you just go and look at your profile and you sharpen it up and you look for things that you can improve with it and whatnot. And I've got 300, like some ridiculous amount. Like there's 2,000, just under 2,800 friends. And how did that happen? You think to yourself, how did that happen? Yeah. And then you've got 330 people who aren't your friends but follow you. And you go, how does that happen? And you scroll through and like you might know 10% of the people who aren't game to send you a friend request or something but follow you or what have you. You might know 10%. So out of that 330, there maybe 30 names. But then you think, who are these people that just say, there's that random guy that posts out some stuff. I liked one of his quotes once. I'll just follow him on his Facebook. So, but it's really weird. Today it just really struck me that and that's not even my pages. Like my pages have got, 900 odd people that follow the pages. So that's business. So you want that. But this is the personal profile. And you think, okay, there's 3,000 people that I have a connection with in Facebook. So why is it that I probably talk to a handful of people on Facebook? It just defies logic, really.
It does.
Yeah,
and that's 3,000 of your closest friends and family, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. I know them well. So I'm going to share some more of my poem. I'm pretty proud of it, as you can see. So who knows what this world will look like when we come out of this thing, but a repair kit won't be enough. It's too much of a ding. Politicians are talking economic recovery, painting the picture of sustainable discovery. I'm just going to finish it off now, which then begs the question, has all this been planned to change the dynamic mapped out beforehand? I just have to question that all this just seems odd. Contradictions, inconsistency, governments playing God. The daily press conferences where we all learned of our fate, celebrities created through this daily update. The info was shared to keep us all abreast. We're all in this together. Surely they jest. The power was held in the hands of a few. Police states were formed, laws changed and renewed. We're keeping you safe is the political cry. Control is more like it. It's how you justify it. So I'm staring forlornly at the life I used to lead, and people and business will continue to hemorrhage and bleed. Honestly, I believe 21 will continue the rot. But now I've just got to go and stand on a dot. so that's like it.
And going back, you said you were frustrated when you wrote that, didn't you?
I felt in angst, because and what I'm in angst about is the fact that there are so many, and I don't want to be critical of people being anxious, but because one of my closest friends, as you heard, his wife had been anxious, but we get it, and I suppose part of my angst was some anxiousness that people aren't going out of their way to discover some truth, some other truths, and not just listen to the media that tells us we're all going to die if we get out of the house.
Like 16 years ago, Green Day put out a record called American Idiot, and that was aimed at Bush and what was going on then. And listening to that song now, I'm like, wow, that's fucking
Yeah.
what we're going. That's what we're going through. Like I remember when it all sort of started coming out, I was saying to myself, I'm like, I'm not taking this seriously. You know, it's very serious. And I remember one day at work. It was only one day I did it. I'm pretty sure. Back in March, I wore a mask. I wore gloves for goodness sakes on the plane, handing boarding passes and thinking, you know, this is very serious. And that was And so I feel you. And like last week, I had to have a conversation with myself. I had to check in with myself. Like I found myself being very negative. And I've reached out to friends. I said, look, if I come across the wrong way or negative, please let me know. Like, I know, you know, like you've got to adapt. You've got to adapt. I'm fucking sick of adapting to the changes. Like, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like I'm swimming against the waves.
Yeah.
Like, I remember years ago, like my mental health was so good, and haircut, hiking, that's just the start of it. So I'm excited to come back. And like I said, I felt very negative, and you know me, you've known me for years, and I'm a very positive person. Like I always want the best, and I'm happy, and I'm good to be around. But now I'm just fucking struggling to pull myself out of bed, like, and be that person I was.
Yeah.
And I know I'll get back there, but you know, like.
And fundamentally, it's about purpose, and it's about personal responsibility. So I don't need the government to keep me safe, you know, and I'll take responsibility for that. You know, I'll take responsibility for what I eat, what I drink, how I drive, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll take that and I accept that responsibility. My friends understand that I accept that responsibility. So I don't need the government to say, Tony, stay safe, because, you know, I shared the story when we came back from Japan, and I went to the supermarket, and this is just in the early days of the hysteria that surrounded COVID. And I just was walking in the supermarket, giving people space, but one lady didn't think I gave her enough space. So all of a sudden, she's standing in the middle of this grocery aisle at Woolworths at Alexandra Hills, just freaking out, saying, we're all going to die and we just don't get it, everyone, you know. And I'm just thinking, why are you out? Why are you out? Like, if that's
you feel, stay home, stay the fuck home.
So if that's how you feel, don't go out. You know, you could order your food, you can do everything from home. And that's what I think the message should have been. If you don't feel safe, we'll look after you and you stay at home. But for everyone else, just get out there and make shit happen, because that's what we're good at doing. So
yeah, it's like my electric skateboard. If I get to a speed that I don't feel comfortable with, I slow the fuck down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to keep going or try and go faster because I don't feel safe.
See, and you know, I really do feel for the Victorians population, because, you know, your identity, I mean, one of the biggest days of the year comes up on Saturday, where Victorians, no matter what team you support, the AFL Grand Final, 100,000 at the G, everyone's watching it regardless, and it's not in your state. You're not allowed to watch it at pubs. You won't be able to have friends over. So the very heart of the identity of Victoria has been ripped out. And, you know, and then come Sunday, there'll be this good news that says, hey, we're going to reopen the pubs.
Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. That'll be it. And like you said, like if everyone opened, how are they going to stop everyone?
Yeah.
And that's like Christmas coming up. Like,
I
don't want to get a fine, but fuck, I want to see my mum and dad for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, and I'm not the only one. They're not going to stop everyone from going Christmas. Like, I don't know what I'll be doing with work, whether I'll be working or having it off. So, but anyway, like even if it's a week before Christmas, I want to go to see parents.
Yeah.
And
so
everyone will be in, you know, a lot of people in the same.
And
the fucking same storm, same boat, different boat.
Yeah. So just wait for the new term of COVID Christmas to come around, that'll be another thing that we all get sick of. Hey, Maddie, I've just had a look at the time. We're coming right down to the end. Now, interestingly, Mr. Bailey, we've had people watching us live this week on YouTube. So
Have we?
We need to thank those very persistent, persevering souls that have done that. They haven't made any comments.
Well, I just got a message from Mum, Karen. Mum says could hear but couldn't sign into chat.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
So
if old
Mum
Karen. I don't know if old Karen has a YouTube account to sign in.
Okay. So maybe it was your mum and maybe a couple of other people, but to those souls that have stuck around, thank you very much for that. Yeah, and I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation, our language, and our at times frustration. So,
and
what do you look?
And Kelly's poem.
Yes, yeah, just watch out for that. I might do a bit of I might clean her up a bit and then just see what happens. I might put that out on a video and just see if someone else likes it. So who knows? Matty, always a pleasure, my friend.
Kelly, cheers, mate.
All right. We shall see you next time. This has been Bailey and Curly, unhinged, unfiltered, unwashed.
Coming live from, who needs to wash in Victoria? Coming live from Brisbane and Melbourne.
Absolutely. I'll see you in a fortnight, Matty.
See you, mate.
Thank God that's over. If you didn't like it, leave a review to warn others, or share it with people you want to annoy. If you did like it, I'm sorry, you cannot be helped, so you may as well leave a good review. I guess the boys will appreciate it. As Curly would say, don't be an asshole. Hopefully, I won't see you next time. Goodbye.